for suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscientious, so I move with it.
Grace and peace, Black family. This is Vicky Dillard, your sister with the curly braids. And I want you to get ready for the new Master Elements project, The Spear and the Shield.
This vaccine isn't experimental. It's like a dandelion. You overlook it for their weird science.
DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love the God have taken this time during the pandemic to carefully craft the soundtrack to Black empowerment with hot tracks like God Mine, featuring Sadat X of the legendary group Brand Nubians.
We never die. I made an ancestral shrine. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen, I'm a law and a person of sincere love the God. That mean your arms too short like Carl Anthony Shaw.
God painted me black.
God painted me black. Thanks for that. I'm a original man.
A letter to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
I shake to the ancestors. Dear Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, I just wanted to thank you for all the lessons you left us. So yes, I'm more than grateful.
And the controversial song Buck Breaking God Today.
Why every black show they gotta have a transgender? Either I'm crazy or there's gotta be a planned agenda.
Get ready, Black family. This is a much needed project. This is The Spear and the Shield.
Racism started to creep in with the Romans. And then later on, when Africa was conquered, then racism became rife because it was necessary to prove blacks were inferior in order to keep them down. Because if people think they're equal, they're going to fight you. If they think they're inferior, they're going to stay still. Okay, because they're going to take it as God's will that they should operate in that way. Okay, so that these were later developments.
Okay, and in terms of the Americas, Africans,
in America,
African presence.
Yes. Now, I'm the first person to write a book establishing there were Africans in America before Columbus. I came upon this by accident, and I didn't believe it at first, because I first came to this country 25 years ago, and I saw a book, African, the Discovery of America. I was influenced by the linguistics, because at that time I was a linguist. I just compiled the Swahili Dictionary of Legal Terms. I was in East Africa for a year, and I compiled the Swahili Dictionary of Legal Terms. I was fascinated by finding African words in early America, as this man Leowino claimed, etc. But that wasn't enough. So I actually began attacking the thesis. I didn't believe it. And I wrote an essay for Random House, and I said, if anyone could show me a picture of an African in America before Columbus, I would begin to believe. And a week later, to my astonishment, a man called Charles Harris at Random House called me and said, something strange has happened on my desk. You ended your article by saying, if anyone can show me the African American before Columbus, I would begin to believe. And I turned the page, and there was a picture of an African American before Columbus. Because John Williams, the African American novelist, had gone to Mexico, met a strange German named von Wutenau. And von Wutenau had spent 40 years of his life digging up in Mexico and found faces of Africans among the American pottery. I was so startled. I had very little money then, but I took all of the money and flew straight to Mexico the very next weekend and met von Wutenau. We became lifelong friends. And von Wutenau took me to the museums and showed me these things. And I began to discover I knew about the linguistics, he knew about the art, but that was not enough. I said, perhaps what has happened is so much fragmentation in the world as a result of slavery. This story lies in various places. So I started to move from art history and linguistics, and I went to botany and found plants from Africa across to America before Columbus. I went to check out all the books on Columbus and found that Columbus was the first person. Columbus was the first person to suggest there were Africans in America before Columbus. I appeared before a congressional committee on the 7th, yes. I appeared in a congressional committee on July the 7th, 1987, that was looking into the workings of the Christopher Columbus Committee, Centenary Committee. And I pointed out to them I'm not the first person to suggest there were Africans in America before Columbus. Christopher Columbus was the first person to suggest this. And then I presented 12 names of Europeans who actually saw or heard of blacks when they first came here. Christopher Columbus saw them in Honduras, heard of them in Haiti. It's reported by his son, Ferdinand Columbus. Balboa saw them. L'Abbé Brasseur de Bourbourg reported them in Panama. Lopez de Gamara said they were identical with the blacks he saw. A whole range of things appeared. And I was able to show that Africa came to America in 200 years before Columbus. I was able to show it in terms of eyewitness reports, in terms of images they had left, in terms of gold-tip spears they were trading with, in terms of things they had written. Like I went into Arabic and found that the Arabs had reported on a trip by Africans across the Atlantic. It appears in 2 Arabic books, Al-Kalkashandi, the Masilik al-Absar fi Mamalik al-Amsar. I showed it in all the disciplines. When I brought out my book, I was attacked all over the world. I was attacked in France. I was attacked in Britain. I was attacked here in America. But I stuck to it and stuck to it and stuck to it. And the Smithsonian, the leading scientific institution in this country, they attacked me. 16 years later, they allowed me to speak. And they were startled by how much evidence I had, because they never bothered to listen. They never read the book. They never saw the new evidence. As a result of this, a month ago, no, not a month, in March, after years and years, in March, the Smithsonian Institution published my essay. And they find it very difficult to refute, because they have to, even though some of them don't believe, of course, they have to spend a lot of time now trying to disprove me, because the evidence I have presented is overwhelming.
So what do we know about the African presence in America before Christ?
Okay, we know what I was talking about just now is before Columbus. But
Right.
we have found an African presence before Christ. We found a nation in America known as Olmec. And we found some of the heads of the Olmec. Not all of them, some of them are African. One of them actually has African braids. And this is about 814 plus or minus 134 years before Christ. And we have found their skeleton, where we found the stone heads with their faces. We have gone into the graves and found the skeletons. And it is possible to tell from a skeleton whether a person is European, African, or Asian. It's not always possible if you're mixed, okay, because that creates confusion. But we found pure-blooded Africans. We found the nasal roof was different. The bone of the head bone was different. The structure, the jaw was different. The length of the body was different. Relationship of limbs different, etc. So we found this racial type in the graves, apart from the clay sculptures of them and the stone sculptures of them.
So this is about 800 years.
Yes, 800 years before Christ.
Before Christ.
Yes.
Africans in the Americas.
Yes.
Specifically, this would be where?
Okay, we found it in 3 places. We found it at La Venta. We found it at Tres Zapotes. We found it in another one of the capitals, La Venta, Tres Zapotes, San Lorenzo.
So we're talking about Mexico.
Yes, Mexico.
Okay.
Well, Mexico was America. Remember that. Mexico is now Mexico. We took away Texas from Mexico. We took away Colorado from Mexico. We took away part of Canada from Mexico. All of that was Mexico. So Mexico was larger than the present United States. The United States is only a few hundred years old. So the period we're talking about, Mexico meant America.
Peace. What's good, family?
What it do?
What's going on? That was the great Dr. Ivan Van Sertima talking about the early presence of Africans in America right there. Open up the show. You know, we like to open up the show with the master teachers, dropping some gems. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the GodCast. This is the Black Business Showcase. I am the God, Sincere Love, here with my lovely co-host. You got a hat on today, Miss Nicety Girl. What's going on up under that hat?
Oh, you don't even want to know. It's awful in here, but I got an appointment. I'll be getting tight again.
What we get? We getting some braids, we getting some
Yeah, I'm
twists. What
going
we
back to
doing?
braids. Going back to my co-locks. I want to lock my hair. That is
You
the
want to lock
goal.
your hair? For
I do
real?
want to lock my hair, but I want, because I'm coming from a year of growth from a short haircut, I want some more there before I get my starter locks.
Got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
the sister will be getting locked up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Peace, everybody. Peace, everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share this out on your social medias. And if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, you might be watching this on Facebook or Twitter or whatever the case may be. Head on over to YouTube. Click that subscribe button. Click the notification bell so you will be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes. We do the Black Business Showcase here on SincereluvdagodCast every Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And you can check us out on our regular show, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, where we cover current events and talk about important topics pertaining to the Black community. So, of course, today we got another great show for y'all. Another esteemed guest coming on the set tonight. I feel like I'm forgetting something, announcement or something that I wanted to say before we get to that.
You already said subscribe. You already said hit the notification bell so that you are notified when we go live each and every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sundays. All right. So make sure you guys are doing your due diligence around here.
Yes, indeed. And I dropped a couple of links inside the chat for our guest tonight. So, mods, if y'all could copy those links and share them throughout the broadcast, that'd be beautiful. Appreciate y'all in advance. So let me let y'all know who we got coming on the set tonight. This is actually my brother, good brother of mine, Portiay. Rashid Portiay Nash is a mixed engineer from the BX, New York, with 20 years experience in the field of music production. As a kid, he shared a room with his brother and uncle, who was a b-boy, avid record collector, and beat maker and breakbeat DJ. When his uncle would leave the house, young Portier was drawn by the lights and buttons and couldn't resist turning on the equipment. It wasn't until a childhood friend from around the way formed a rap group called Camp Low. This is it. What? Lucini falling from the sky. Let's get lit. What? See, y'all don't know about that out there on the West Coast, man. Y'all don't know about that out there on the West Coast, man.
West Side.
So Camp Low inked a deal with Profile Records. His friends had success on their debut release and purchased studio equipment when they returned from tour. Unable to resist the lights and buttons at the new studio, Portier found himself hanging around, learning his way around equipment once again. Before long, he began making beats and recording vocals. As the years passed, his production skills improved and he began placing music occasionally with recording artists, but more frequently on TV, film projects with companies such as Viacom, ESPN, BET, MTV, Nat Geo, and more. So Beat Breakers Entertainment. During this time, Portier met and decided to partner up with fellow producer Alizé, aka Lenny Jones, an ambitious networking genius. They formed a production company, Beat Brokers Entertainment. The duo set out to secure placements with various industry artists and ultimately landed a production deal with Trackmasters Entertainment on their Brooklyn Records / Arista subsidiary. The young producers used the money they made to build Beat Broker Studios in the South Bronx months after they learned that Arista Records had closed its doors, ending the Trackmasters Entertainment subsidiary label deal. The closure killed their upcoming releases, sending them back to the drawing board. And then, let me see, Hey Young World. The undiscouraged young producers retreated to their South Bronx studio, taking everything they learned from the seasoned industry professionals to build a new brand. They created a children's entertainment project called Hey Young World.
Hey Young World was a children's entertainment brand that relied heavily on studio magic and kid-friendly stories based on friendship. Portiay went on to produce, record, and write most of the material for the project. During that time, Portiay and the Hey Young World team visited local schools, sold merchandise, and realized the power of independence. The ability to create a product and sell it directly without having to deal with gatekeepers was refreshing. Today, after realizing he had fallen out of love with the politics of the industry producing, Portier has turned to engineering slash mixing as a way to help others with their music projects while lending his years of production experience to his clients. LegendaryMix.com, an online mixing and mastering service, was launched in 2014. And in 2019, he launched OnCodeClothing.com, a Black empowerment brand. He also produced and released Focus in 2019, an EP for his 11-year-old son, Ethan. And so with all that being said, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my brother, Portier. What's going on, King?
What's up, family? What's up, peace?
Peace to the God.
That was a beautiful intro right there. I'm all choked up,
Hey. Took you back down memory lane and all that, right?
No, that's a fact. That's a fact, bro.
Yeah, so it's a lot for us to talk about, man. Reading that bio, it's a lot that I didn't even know about you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for the audience, real quick, let me just let y'all know how our relationship came about. And I see you. Shout out to my brother DJ RP Beats in the building. I see you. We're gonna drop the link. We're gonna drop the link a little bit later on in the show. So stick around. I'll drop the link in there so you could come join us. You know what I'm saying, and chime in on the conversation with us too. So I started working with DJ RP Beats. I don't know what year it was and all that shit. I don't know. But shortly, not too long after I moved to Atlanta, I started working with DJ RP Beats on our first project, the Master Elements project, which was supposed to be just like a compilation project that he was doing with a bunch of different artists. You know what I'm saying? He a DJ / producer. So he was putting together a project with all his production with different artists. But when I came aboard, our chemistry kind of clicked, and we decided we was going to just formulate a group. And he was working with Portier on the project. You know what I'm saying? He was doing all the recording and stuff over there, getting everything mixed over there with Portier. I didn't know Portier. Portier, you know what I'm saying? He around my way, where I'm from, Middletown, New York. And so when I came out there to visit and went to go record the vocals for, it might have been Dreams off the first Master Elements project. And I pulls up to the studio, he introduced us and all of that. And I see Sheikh Anti Diop book sitting by the soundboard. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, Sheikh Anti Diop? I think it was African Origins of Civilization or one of those books.
Most likely.
It's sitting right there by the board. So I'm like, Sheikh Anti Diop? Like, you on it like that? And so, of course, immediately we figured out we both conscious, we both on the same page. You know what I'm saying? Once I went in the booth and recorded my lyrics, he like, oh, okay, I see why you was drawn to the book. You know what I'm saying? And so it was just like a perfect union between me, him, and RP Beats. It's not often that you get to work with people that's on the same page musically, on the same page, you know what I'm saying, politically, and just, seeing the world through the same lens and all that. So that was a bonus on top of what me and RP was already doing. And that's what helped bring the magic together for, that first Master Elements album. And then the follow-up, which is The Spear and the Shield. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully all of y'all done already checked that out. Go check it out again. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Right. You know what I'm saying? So this is my brother right here, man. But a lot of stuff I didn't know about your history. You know what I'm saying? Reading that bio. Very impressive. And so I always like to start off with our guests by getting into the origin story about how everything came about for you. So, you know what I'm saying? Break some of that history down for us, man. Take us back to the beginning. Lead us up to where we at right now.
Yeah. Okay. So, it was like late 90s. It was like late 90s. My homeboys, mid 90s. My guys, Sway from Camp Low got the deal. Of course, I was always engulfed in music, records, breaks, and all of that, whether I wanted to or not, because my uncle was up till 3 a.m. spinning breaks and all of that. So you get caught up in it, what's what. So long story short, Sway caught a deal, introduced us to Chiba, and everybody just on some cool out vibe. Going on tour, we going out on tour with them to DC, Virginia, college campuses, like just doing the regular one too, just young dudes running around trying to figure it out. And my guys, they end up buying equipment. We end up going over to the studio, and it was just magic, making beats, just messing with the equipment, seeing how, seeing what's what, and just developed a knack for it. Just beats, the air that I had was like a little bit different because I'm coming from this different space in hip hop because I have that background. My uncle was knee deep in the b-boy game. So it was like it was organic. So eventually we kind of like landed some placements on their project, and then they got moved to Arista, so that slowed everything up. And then the Arista situation, I think Clive Davis ended up leaving Arista on them, which kind of tripped us up on their second release, or tripped me up on their second release. And I didn't really get that placement like I wanted to, but the songs that I had ended up getting released in Japan on an independent record. And so I turned to I met up with my partner Alizé at the time, and we just hit the streets running. So we was going through the ropes, running up to the labels, Def Jam and this label, that label. So it was like it was one of those things. I don't really love that part of the game, but it was what came with it. I wanted to be in the studio. That's why that's why when you catch me in Middletown, I'm in the studio. So that's where I wanted to be. So long story short, we just met the right people, got into the right circles, and then really started politicking nicely. Got into like an inner circle, which is where you want to be when you produce. You want to be in-house. So it's like as soon I make a beat in the morning and the check is cut by that afternoon type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So that went on for like months, and it was a beautiful thing. Then Arista, they had to deal with Arista, so Arista folded. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of like put us back out in the wind. So, just like how the bio reads, we started putting our heads together and we came up with different projects. And one was the Hey Young World project, which was like it was a children's brand. It was like a CD and a storybook that had the same storyline, but on the CD, the story was happening in music. With over music, it was like 10 songs. It was over the course of a week, and a friendship story, and it was 4 characters. It was really developed pretty nice. Actually had a sit down with the product. We had a sit down with Nickelodeon, and they wanted to do some stuff with it, but me being conscious, I was real concerned about what they wanted to do with it. You feel me? I didn't want them to turn it inside out and make it into something else. Yeah, so we real positive meeting and follow-ups that I was kind of like, Shorty was talking about this. And I'm like, I don't know, we're gonna have to we negotiate that, we gotta figure that out. Long story short, by the time the smoke cleared, the person we met with ended up getting fired. You know what I mean? Like our situation never moved down the line, you know what I mean? So it kind of held us up a little bit with that. So we just hit the ground, going to like the schools and making our rounds, went to festivals. We set up tables on 125th Street and was just doing the thing. Kids was going crazy for what we was doing. So that was love. And in the process of all that happening, I began falling in love with the production process, with the engineering aspect, because I love bells and whistles and lights and all that stuff. So I'm flicking switches and lights and clicking buttons, and I'm in my glory at that point. So and with engineering, there's so many layers to it that it's easy to kind of like get absorbed into just figuring it all out. So I was getting really good results. People was loving what was happening, just on that side. So I kind of like steered away from music production because the politics of it started to become overwhelming. Like I went from a situation where I was in-house, where there was no real middleman. I would make the beat in the morning, like I said, and in the evening, everyone decided what they wanted, and the check was already on its way. So I had to go back to a situation where I had to run around and play beats for somebody, and hopefully they liked it. It wasn't where I wanted to be at that stage, in my beat career. So, we kind of just fell back. We just started really doing the studio thing, and then just working the Young World project. And then life starts happening. I had a small team of maybe like 5 people working on the Hey Young World project, and then life happens. People have kids, jobs, change job, move out of state. One of our people, he played professional baseball. He ended up getting a baseball gig out in like Australia for the sub. So it just stuff kept getting in the way. So we was trying to figure out how to keep the ball rolling. Just while life is. I ended up moving up to Middletown.
Yeah.
So it kind of, it's still here. We still got it. We still hold it, but we just haven't really been moving the kids project like that. And then, every time I get a new idea, I start running with it. So, with the engineering thing, I started Legendary Mix in 2014, and that started to take off. And I found myself doing a lot of consulting with people, unofficially, and trying to nudge my clients to start merchandising. So it was hard to do that because they couldn't really grasp, just the websites and how to do it and just the technical aspect. So I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on Shopify and I'm gonna create a store. At the time, I didn't know what kind of store I was gonna create, and then one thing led to another, and it hit me. It's like, I'm gonna do something outside of music that I feel passionate about, which was Black empowerment, what I'm saying? So I created the oncode brand, and I created really as a way of trying to help my clients figure out and navigate, that space. But that took on a life of its own, what I'm saying? And oncode kind of sort of did its thing. So people were really buying it, and I was marketing it on certain podcasts and just really strategizing pretty nice with it. And it's getting sales, and it was just bubbling, what I'm saying? So here we are today. I didn't even add the Black Bodega to the bio.
Yeah. I was gonna get to that.
Just in the spirit of serial entrepreneurship. My partner Alize again. Alize, his brother, myself. We started we put a store in the Bronx. It's called Black Bodega. It's a grocery store in the BX, because like every conscious-minded person, you always think about the fact that we're not growing our own food, we're not selling our own food, we're not, like, what are we gonna do about, feeding ourselves? We gotta enter that space to try to figure that out. So that led to the Black Bodega conversation over the years, what I'm saying? And when we had a chance to do it, which was last year during COVID, we jumped on it, and we got a location. It was in a popping spot, and we built it out. We learned the ropes. We figured out, this is where we're gonna get this from. This is what you got to do to get the lotto stuff, and just get everything clicking. Get the EBT,
tobacco license, and alcohol, all that shit.
And you do get a little pushback, because other groups of people in the hood, they kind of provide those services for us.
Yeah.
So when they see you doing it, it's kind of like they see encroaching on their territory a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, but that's how that's the reaction. But it wasn't enough pushback to stop us or nothing like that. So we kind of followed through with that. So we rocking out in that space right now. But here we are now. I'm still rocking with the Legendary Mix, and I was able to produce or assist in engineering that marvelous genius project. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
Love came out with and blessed us with his lyrical, prolific skills.
Yes, indeed, my brother.
You know what I mean? So that's the rough around the edge story of Portiay, following the bio. You know what I mean?
So listen, that thing with the bodega was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't even hear about it from you. I seen it in the news.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. I hit you up when I seen it come out in the news and all that. I'm like, yo, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody might have sent it to me or something. Somebody sent me a link, like, yo,
right,
you know what I mean? This shit guy, and I'm like, yo, that's my man. This nigga got a store. You know what I'm saying? So I hit you up, but yeah, that was a big deal, man. Like you said, most of the bodegas is owned by, you know what I'm saying, Hispanics and Indians and Arabs and all these people that's from outside our community, even though the majority of the residents in the community is us.
Are black.
You know what I'm saying? So what was the reception like? I know you got the pushback, you know what I'm saying, from them people, but what was the reception like from the community once y'all opened up?
The community, they caught it. They got the gist. They knew what it was about. The reception was good. Like it was solid. I think a lot of the support we got early on was really just support, because some people were coming from like we're on 167 right off the concourse. We had people coming from Harlem just to come in and let me get some wings and you know what I mean? Like,
shout out to them people.
You know what I mean? They skipped over 20 wing spots to come rock out with us. You know what I'm saying? So the support was real, or it still is real. You know what I'm saying? There was a storm though. We caught a storm in, I think it was January, in the roof. There was some issue with and it was like a leak or something like that. So we going through it with the landlord still with that, trying to get that all situated. But it's all good. You run into those little hiccups from time to time.
But go ahead, Nicey. I didn't mean to cut you off a while ago.
It's okay. No, in the beginning, during the bio, he mentioned, or your bio mentioned that you start, playing around with your uncle's DJ equipment. So my question is, I'm going to go back to Love Jones. Or is that when you fell in love with hip hop?
Brown Sugar, by the way.
Brown Sugar.
Brown Sugar. One of my favorite movies.
When did you fall in love with hip hop? And then also, did you teach yourself how to DJ? Like, how did you just obviously sneaking on his stuff, but isn't that just a talent to mix music and understand beats and stuff like that? How did that happen?
I'm a visual person. So what happens is I'll see somebody doing something and I'll get the gist of what it is. You know what I'm saying? What it is they're doing. What is the perfect project? Huh? No, that's a fact. That's a fact. But I could look at something and visually see what's happening. So I would watch him do his thing, and then he'll slide out. I'll turn the equipment on and kind of do whatever. It wasn't perfect, but it was me showing myself that I could grasp that, because I didn't have a lot of time to do it, because you under that pressure, you sweating a little bit, you looking over your shoulder. But as far as when I fell in love with hip hop, that was more just a kid being curious. I fell in love with hip hop in late 80s. You know what I mean? When I had you had the cassette tape and you got, Marley Marl is playing and you running, you only catch the second verse because you know what I mean? I fell in love when I was 8, 7, 8, 9, you know what I mean? Like it was different. By the time I started messing with, what he was doing, it had already been, hip hop was already a thing for me. I just wasn't participating in the production of it. You know what I mean? I wasn't on that side, but that's how the love came in.
Was you ever on the MC side?
Yeah, I flirted with rhyming a little bit. My uncle had the little microphone. You know what I mean? We would jump on it, spit out little rhymes. I put out a little song every 3, 4.
What was your rap name?
You know what I mean?
What was your rap name?
I didn't really have a rap name. I was just playing around. But I'm gonna tell you what happened though. I'm gonna tell you what happened when Illmatic came out. I realized, wait a minute, if damn, this what's going on, this what's happening on the streets. If I don't sound like this, I'm gonna have to pack it up.
I respect that.
You feel me? So I packed that up quick.
That's how it should be, man. That's how it should be. When you see that the bar is set at a certain level and you realize you ain't got it like that, do something else, man.
Do something else, man. Do something else. Pack it up.
Did you ever play instruments?
In school, I played the trumpet in school. I wasn't really great at it, but I was always intrigued at how wrote how the music was written and the notes and the timing and all of that stuff. I was always intrigued by that. And I think to this day that helps me, that helped me when I was producing because I understood music from a different angle. And it also helps me with engineering because I understand different aspects, of the music. Even though I wasn't great at it, it doesn't really take me much to kind of really have a full grasp. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I could explain things to people and I've just never done it. You know what I mean? I can explain certain things, like, you know what I mean? But once I grasp it, I got it,
Yeah. Y'all got to explain something to me. I don't know nothing about this. I've never been in the studio. You guys said something about spinning breaks. What's that? And what's the difference between engineering and mixing?
Good question.
Okay.
Good question.
So spinning breaks. So on them back in the 70s, right? You had the funk records like James Brown and those records like that. At the bridge part of the record, they always had like the drum solo. So the drummer would go crazy. So that was called a break in the record. They didn't call it a bridge, they called it a break. So in the parties, they would play these 70s funk records. And during the break on the record, that's where people would dance because that's where the drums was going crazy. Right. So what the DJs would do, they would keep spinning back that break section. They would keep spinning it back and playing it from the top. And if you were really good as a DJ, you would never know when the break ended because it would never end because they could keep doing that for hours. You know what I'm saying? So that was spinning breaks. So when I would turn on my uncle's stuff, I would find the break and then try to keep the break going for as long as I could with, adding scratches and doing little stuff like that. And as far as what was the other question you asked me about?
The difference between engineering, I guess, and mixing music when you're.
Yeah, so engineering, the engineering is just kind of like the overall what you're doing, engineering. But most engineers, they kind of just, they know how to press the buttons. They record you. They might give you a little, might tweak it a little bit or whatever. They know the equipment. They know what everything does. It's just the knowledge of it. It's basically engineering. But when you mix, you gotta have the experience. You gotta know how to draw the sound out, and you gotta know how to bring it to an end product. You know what I'm saying? So I have clients, all over the world. They'll send me like raw, just recorded music, and I would have to mix it. I would have to bring it to radio quality. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that way, it can spin on the radio. You could play that song next to the Drake song, and it won't really sound like it don't belong there. You know what I mean? It sounds like it belongs right there.
Right. So a lot of my vocals weren't recorded in his studio. I was recording a lot of stuff down here in Atlanta, and we would just leave it raw. You know what I'm saying? And I just send it to him. And then, he make it sound how it's supposed to sound. He give it the quality, you know what I'm saying, that it's supposed to have.
Right. And then, I have that little RP over the shoulder. You know what I mean? RP, we good? You know what I mean? Because RP's on top of that. You don't mess with the producer. He don't want you tampering with his stuff too much.
And that's a whole another level too, because, prior to working with RP, basically all my stuff was like mixtape shit. And so I'm just recording over a 2-track. Right. And so, I just got to get my vocals to sound decent, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. But when you mixing, every single instrument is separated and you got to bring everything together, including the vocals. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole different level right there, what you do.
Right. So it's an art form. It's like I'm painting with, you give me the colors and I'll try to paint it and put it. And I'm trying to like anticipate what it is you were trying to go for, what was the feel of the song, you know what I mean? The vibe. And most times I can hear it as soon as I hear the record, like, oh nah, I know exactly what was happening here. Especially Sincere's music. Like I already know what he's trying to do.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be like, man, because when I was out there recently recording one of the joints that we did, y'all gonna hear some new music soon, by the way, man. Y'all stay tuned for some new music from Master Elements and all that. But one of the joints that I did, my verse start as soon as the beat dropped. And there was a song like that on the previous project, and I recorded it down here, and it took me forever to try to catch it where it come in at, because it's like as soon as the beat come in, I gotta start rapping. You know what I'm saying? So it took me forever, like 1,000 takes to get that shit right. And then when I did it at Portiay spot, he was like, "Oh, I got you." And he did some shit where he counted me in with the beat. Like he made the beat stutter a little bit. So I could just start right on time. It was like just 1, 2, 3. Like as soon as he figured out what I was trying to do, he was like, "Oh, I got you." Boom. And it was done. It was done. So yeah, he really a master in the game. So any artists out there, man, recording artists out there, make sure y'all go to legendarymix.com, submit your vocals, submit your tracks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He got what you need for sure.
Now, y'all just give me a beat.
So now, have you ever worked on any? I imagine that you did, but what's the difference? I should say, working with on a hip hop project versus like an R&B project or something, or any other genres. If y'all don't know if you worked with rock artists or what.
Yeah, a little something on the rock side, one or two here and there. Mostly hip hop, R&B. I mix reggae, dance hall, and all of that. The difference with hip hop and R&B, hip hop is little, the grit is there on the hip hop side. Like it don't really need to be that clean. You know what I'm saying? It just needs to be in your face. It needs to be bumping. The bass needs to, we need to slap and all of that. But on the R&B side, you gotta it has to be pretty. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take more time trying to contour the vocals, make sure it, it sits on the beat a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is it's not a huge difference, except like the harmonies and stuff like that. You got to make sure the harmonies, the additional vocals that are sung in different keys, they all kind of blend together right, and that's pretty much the difference. It's just just making sure everything plays nice together. But the different genres, require just a different approach. But outside of that, it all relies on the ear. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Do you always like the music that you're mixing or engineering?
Nah, not always. It does help if I like it, but if I'm not fond of the music, it just all becomes more technical. Like it's more the meters. I'm checking the meters, making sure everything is where it belongs. Because what I learned too, back when I was making beats on the earlier side, we would go to the big studios, and most of the engineers were white dudes in their 30s and 40s, and I know they don't listen to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But they would make the music really sound good. You know what I mean? So I at that point, I'm like, yo, it really don't matter how old you are. It don't really matter what genre of music you focus on, as long as you know what it's supposed to sound like. And of course, you got the producer there or the artist who's giving you the little, guidance as far as, how they want the snare to hit or whatever. But I did notice that coming up, and it threw me off at first. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. This guy looks like he, you know what I mean? He got the ripped jeans with the chain hanging, and you know what I mean? Right. He got the whole thing. I was like, nah, he did his thing on that joint, because it's all technical at that point. It's like, all right, the vocals need to sound like this, the frequency and the kilohertz and the book. Right. You get into all of that. Once you break away from the music, because my wife asks me all the time, yo, how the hell were you able to mix that record? That joint sounded horrible. And I was like, yo, I didn't really hear this record. I couldn't even tell you what the record was. I couldn't tell you the chorus, nothing. As soon as dude left, I sent that record out, I was off of it. You know what I mean? But it's all technical. It's all technical at that point. But if I'm feeling it, Sincere could tell you, if I'm feeling it, I'm throwing the drops in there. Yeah. I'm bringing, the little effects is happening. Oh, nah, Sin, wait till you hear this. Nah. Yeah, right. Cooking, but it's all good. I try to do that with all the music, even if I'm not digging it. I know, if I was feeling this, I would put a drop right here. So let me put a drop right here and see if I could feel it now. You know what I mean? So it's right. I try to make it happen. But most times, people don't realize, they don't know if you're feeling it or not. They just kind of going with it. As long as it sounds good, it's all clean, everything is good.
But yeah, that's definitely a good point about the engineers. The majority of the sound engineers, they not even into hip hop like that at all. You know what I'm saying? In the industry. And I had to point that out to my son recently too, because I took him to this school down here, audio engineering college joint. You know what I'm saying? He just finished high school and all that. I'm trying to see what the next step going to be. He always been into the music thing. You know my son. You met my son.
Yep.
And so, you know, I took him over there and we had a little tour of the school. They did a little performance and all of that stuff. Took us around to all the different classrooms with the you know, show us the different sound rooms and all of that stuff.
Right.
And afterwards, when I was talking to him about it, he was like, you know, I just don't think it's for me. I don't think that environment's for me. I'm like, why? He was like, oh, you know, he was looking at the white boys. You know what I'm saying? The white boys with the long hair and glasses and shit. He like, I don't think they do what I do. Like, you know, what I do is a little different. And so I had to show him. I'm like, all right, let me pull up some pictures. I'm pulling up Lil Durk and all these dudes in the studio. You know what I'm saying? All the dudes that he listened to. And I'm like, look, who's sitting behind the boards? That's the same nigga that was at the school.
Yeah, I might be him.
You know what I'm saying? Lil Yachty and all of these dudes. I'm like, all right, look who recording. Look who doing the recording and all that.
Right.
I'm like, it's the same shit, my
same
guy.
shit. And I'm gonna tell you, those dudes they be dead nice as far as the technical side. You know what I'm saying? Like they might not be able to add flavor like that. But as long as the producer's doing what he's supposed to do, that guy's gonna make sure everything is right because he know where all of the kilohertz and the whoop-de-whoop supposed to be and the frequency here gotta be. They know all of that.
They know that.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of like when I first started, I was like, nah. I gotta get up to speed with that. Like I gotta start, you know what I mean, figuring out what frequency is what, and you know, doing all that. Cause I'm self-taught. I didn't go to school for engineering. But my education came from producing. And I remember having beats and dropping it off, you know, and dumping it into a studio. And the engineer at the time would be like the guy who just graduated and he's getting coffee normally. But for some reason, he's on my beat hooking it up and he's not hooking it up. I'm like, yo, my dude, like, yo, give me a little, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I didn't know how to communicate that to him, you know what I'm saying? So what happened is over the years, I became a master at communicating with artists who can't communicate music. So I was like, yo, you know how, you know, I just wanted to, you know what I'm saying? He ain't saying nothing. I know what he's saying. Like, oh, yeah, I already know. You need a little bit of this right here, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just a matter of that communication, that the technical side, you know what I mean? I had to get that together, but you know, now
very important, man. That's so important, man, because that's something that I kind of regret not learning some of the technical side myself. But all I wanted to do was rap. You know what I'm saying? I've been going to studio forever. I don't know how to start a session on Pro Tools right now to this day. You know what I'm saying? Because that technical shit just turned me off. I just want to rap.
Right.
You know what I mean? Y'all can do all that other shit later. But I kind of regret it because, you know what I'm saying? That was I feel like I would have been more productive if I was more self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? I would have had more music out if I didn't have to rely on other people. You know what I'm saying? And then that communication factor, you know what I'm saying? Where it didn't quite come out how I wanted it to come out because I didn't know how to tell them what I wanted or they didn't know how to finesse it. So that's what puts you in a different lane from most of the engineers that I worked with over the years. That's what puts you in a different lane because I don't got to say much. You know what I'm saying? You just pick up on what I'm trying to do and you be like, yo, how about this right here? And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know you could do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. And that's another thing too. When I was making beats on the production side, I didn't really play any instruments. So as I started getting better at making beats, it started becoming second nature. I started hearing the music different. I started hearing the music that sounded like music. I didn't want to sample no more. I didn't want to play little, rudimentary chords. I really wanted to make music. So I ended up teaching myself the guitar to a certain degree. I still ain't finessed that because I couldn't. My fingers, some people, their fingers just move different. I couldn't really get that part. But I was able to finesse certain chords and stuff like that because once it's in the computer, I could like make it do things and you would think I could play. But I couldn't really play, and that held me back a lot because what I was hearing in my head, I couldn't really get it out. And then, you got to hire somebody now to come in and do. And as I got better at making music, I felt like that was like holding me back. So I'm like, damn, if only I'd have learned how to play a damn instrument like proficiently, I'd have been nice. It'd have been the love. I would have had the love. I'd still be making beats because the love would have been there. You know what I'm saying? But more. And the politics being what it is, it threw everything for a loop. And that damn Fruity Loops came out, boy. I was like, damn. Yo, I would take 3 hours mixing the snare. Like, I would try to get that snare. Fruity Loops, the snare's already mixed. Them joints is banging, bro. Like, the drums, the kick, and all that. I'm like, oh, my God. I got to try to sell this artist a beat for $10,000 when this kid who's 13 just made 12 Fruity Loop beats in 6 minutes. Right. And so them joints for $200. Like, yo, just buy me lunch. You can have this beat. Right. Like, it threw. I'm like, I'm not coming behind and competing with him. Not after coming off of a situation where I had label support and I had, you know what I mean, in-house work, like laid out, you know. Nah. I'm like, nah, we got to figure something out because this ain't gonna cut it. So now with the engineering, I feel like I'm selling picks and shovels now, you know what I'm saying? Rather than trying to dig for gold, which is what you're doing when you're producing and when you rapping. You know what I mean? I'm selling picks and shovels. Obviously, if you want to make music on a professional level, you're gonna need it mixed properly. You know what I'm saying? And I could offer that, you know, proper mix. So I feel like I have a service that's necessary. You know what I mean?
That was a practical, strategic move. But the question that my sister just asked is, which one do you love more? Where's your passion?
Oh, I've grown into having the passion for engineering more so. The production, I kind of lost my way with, like, because after a while, music changes, and then even if I play well and I'm nice, I still got to stay up to date with, you know, just the latest stuff that, you know what I mean, for production and latest tricks and keep my ear sharp and, you know what I mean. But I'm pretty sharp, but I love engineering because there's so many layers to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could like mix Sincere's record 3 times and use 3 different approaches and still get a quality, you know what I mean, outcome. You know, so I like that because I'm into, you know, knickknacks. I like touching stuff and turning knobs and you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I've grown to love the engineering side, you know, more than production.
How do you feel about the new sounds of today?
I respect it. I respect it because I hear the quality. Like, the quality is great. The quality is amazing, and then I could hear why people like it, why they're drawn to it. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's not my thing, when I'm listening to something, I'm like, yeah, I know how you feeling this. You know what I mean? So I gotta know why you feeling it because I gotta know what to do to make you like it, like what I'm doing to your music. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely have an appreciation for it. I wouldn't buy it or some of this stuff I don't even listen to. I don't even stream some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like those certain types of drill and all. You know what I mean? I don't even listen to that. I listen to maybe some R&B, some classic hip hop, maybe some. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Any new artists that you are feeling though? Like today?
On the R&B
on
side?
the hip hop side.
Nobody really. Nah,
nobody really.
Yeah. The pickings are very slim. Seriously.
Yeah, the pickings are slim. The pickings are slim. I like certain songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't follow any artists like that. So I you know, pickings are slim.
Favorite
like
producer? Who's your favorite producer?
Favorite producer. I really rock with what RP is doing, but outside of people I know, oh my God, favorite producer in the industry, right?
In the industry.
I don't know. I have no clue. Yeah, I don't know. Because music does this thing, right? It goes through the motion. Huh? I'm sorry. I didn't catch
too many?
It's not that there's too many. Is that
are there too many?
No, it's not too many. It's not too many. It's because music does this thing where it goes through a stage of being producer driven. So now you know every producer, what they're doing, what they're eating in the morning, and then it goes to the stage where it's artist driven. I think we're in this artist driven stage, so you don't pay attention to the producers anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
It always comes back around, and then you start knowing the producers have PR campaigns, and it's just, but it's not in that stage right now. And I don't really get to listen to a lot of music because I listen to a lot of music all day long. So when I'm not listening to music, I'm not listening to music.
Right.
And I listen to something on the radio. I'm tuning into music when I'm like in the car just to pass time, but I'm like playing on a playlist or something. And I don't know who produced the record. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just that's not the stage we in right now as far as industry music. But
speaking of producers, bring my brother on the set real quick, man. Everybody, this my partner right here, DJ RP Beats.
Hey, what's up, family?
What up?
Peace. How y'all doing?
Peace.
Peace to the black family.
Yes, sir.
We here.
Yeah.
We outside.
Yes. My favorite engineer, my favorite host and co-host.
Nice.
Outcast.
I'm the only one from the West Coast. Everybody's from New York.
Yeah, New York heavy up in here tonight. New York heavy up in here tonight.
Heavy.
True.
Man, speaking about the West Coast, we got a lot to talk about on Sunday, but that's
yeah, it's been a lot going on, boy. Woo-wee.
That's another thing.
What's going on in the West Coast?
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that on Sunday.
Yo.
Okay.
Tune in Sunday.
Make sure y'all tune in on Sunday, boy.
Yeah, man. That
I'm gonna have to tune in.
Crazy.
RP.
What up?
You got any questions for our guest, Mr. Portiay?
I mean, his inspiration, what inspires you, Portiay, to keep going, to keep perfecting your craft, working with all these different artists, young artists. What's your inspiration? What keeps you going?
What keeps me going is I actually get to be creative because I'm a creative spirit, but I get to be creative on something different every day of the week. You know what I mean?
Dope.
So I'm not like stuck. When I was making beats, right, or producing my own music, I was kind of stuck in my sound and what I was doing.
Right.
Sometimes I'm working on a record. RP. Sometimes you're making a beat for the next 3 days. That's the beat for the next 3 days. I gotta perfect this one beat.
Right.
But this way, I have a session at 1:00, and I'm mixing some other kind of song, and I gotta find out how to perfect it, how to make it fire. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at 5:00, I got a whole nother session, and I got somebody who just sent in 10 songs and
challenges.
Right, it's the challenge of just kind of doing your thing on every record.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though they doing the bulk of the creation, it still falls on me to finish, cross the finish line with it. So,
right.
I actually enjoy that. You know what I'm saying?
So, Portiay, it doesn't sound too terrible, but you got a little echo.
Do I?
On your side, I don't know. It just started.
But I gotta turn the volume down, right?
You could try that. If you got some headphones, that might work.
I gotta have headphones in the studio, right?
XD same question I asked Portiay. DJ RP Beats.
Yeah, I mean,
other than yourself, I should say, who's your favorite producer? You heard me?
Is that all time or of today?
Of today?
I'm saying of today. Other than himself, RP, who's your favorite producer of today, other than yourself?
I'm gonna go with Madlib. He's one of my favorites of all time. I mean, Madlib. Actually, he's from the West Coast. Madlib. He's from the West Coast. I think Madlib is Madlib from is he from He's from Oakland, I think.
I ain't sure.
That's
But
up
he's
north.
from
That's 6 hours away from me.
Yeah, Madlib is from the West Coast. Yeah, he's one of the top, my top all time. I mean, Jay Dilla was number one before he passed, and the torch is passed from him to Madlib. So I mean, he's incredible. He produces everything under the sun, funk, R&B, reggae, hip hop. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Madlib is a genius.
You the second person that mentioned Madlib this week.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this
now
week?
I'm gonna have to check him out. I'm gonna have to see what he up to.
Oh man, he's amazing. That Mad Villainy album with him and MF Doom, you can start right there. Start right there, and then go through the catalog, the Medicine Show, and he just produced a new Black Star album that's about to drop.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hearing that one.
That should be interesting, and I like what they're doing with the release, kinda, sorta. I like the idea of not releasing it traditionally and kind of trying to take control of their music. But when I was looking at the platform that they're releasing it on, it's still owned by a white dude. So I'm like, okay, you just found another plantation. I don't understand what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying?
They should have released it on their own platform. Come on, man. Like,
at this stage, right?
Yeah.
Link in my bio, nigga. Like, you know what I'm
They
saying?
made people wait. They made people wait 24 years for a second album.
Was it 24 years?
It's 24 years, man, for a follow-up album.
Damn.
This album better be amazing. I'm gonna tell you.
You can't have those ridiculous expectations because that just ruins.
I'm telling you, man. With Madlib behind the boards, I mean, it better be no flaws. No flaw. I don't want to hear no. A snare better not be off. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm hearing good things about it. You know what I'm saying from the right people. So it should be good. It should be good. But I don't know. We'll see.
It better be a classic. I don't want to hear nothing less.
But Jackson, I agree with this statement. Music producer, but I think more so not the producers, but the engineers. I think the engineers carry a lot of the artists that's in the mainstream today. I would agree with this statement. I would just change producers to engineers. Music producer skills currently exceed the level of current artist talent in the industry. What y'all think?
Sounds about right. I think the beats now are very stripped down. Creative, but they very stripped down. So you got to get it to set. That sound got to be right. They got to bump just right.
What you think, RP?
I mean, that's really the case. I mean, most of the production and the engineering behind these projects is what's carrying everything, is making everything. And these songs, a lot of these songs, as a DJ, I mean, I go out on weekends and play them. A lot of these songs, they DOA within a week or two. They don't last too long. They might hit the first 2 weeks. They'll get on the radio, a little couple of spins. By 2 weekends out, I'm back spinning somewhere, and people don't want to hear those songs. They don't want to hear them no more.
It's disposable. It's disposable. Yeah. Once you're tired of the song, it's not like a classic that you can always play forever and it's gonna rock the house. Like once it's old, it's old. You know what I mean?
On to the next.
I think that comes from the ability to make music so effortlessly. Like the equipment, the software, everything is just at your disposal. You grab a beat from here, you grab, the microphone, and just you can put it right out.
It's microwave shit. Niggas ain't really cooking.
Yeah.
Microwavable.
And they not putting no thought into what they do. Like when we all sit down, we mapping this thing out. And when we come to the table from the song conception to the production, and then we come to you, Portiay, with the engineering. Come on, we putting thought into every step. A lot of these artists, like you said, it's just disposable. They just trying to get a quick hit. They trying to find something catchy, something hot, and they constantly missing. It's like a hit and miss thing.
Do you think it's the hunger for the music? not there though from the artists like back days, the era that we grew up, guys and girls were more hungry, to put
Mm-hmm.
out quality stuff versus just grabbing one bag if they can or being a
Right.
one hit wonder. Do you think this hunger is gone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the hunger is there for the fame, not for the quality music. Because the way the industry feeds that is, you don't even have A&Rs anymore going to like venues looking for talent. What you have is algorithms. You got computers now dinging algorithms on YouTube and find, oh yo, who's this artist? He just spun, a million times, and yo, go in his DM, tell him we need a meeting.
Right.
And that's how they finding talent. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, they would have an artist sign him to like a development deal. He'll be on the label for like 3 years. They flying him to meet with producers. They flying him to whoop. He's staying over in Edgewater, New Jersey, in a $3,000 apartment back in whatever. And they doing that. They taking care of this man for 3 years. Now, I don't gotta spend $800,000 taking care of you for 3 years. I'll just give you $800,000 if you come already pre-packaged. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for them, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It don't make a difference to them. They just don't have to go looking for the talent no more.
Well, see, a lot of the artists that we came up with, they took, a year or two and they really crafted their projects. Tribe Called Quest, Rakim, Ice Cube, you wouldn't hear from them for like 2 years, and they were steady building and really putting their projects together. So when it came out, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Right.
They really, really took time to craft their art. They didn't just throw stuff out. And that's why these artists are touring again now. Because those songs, although a lot of those songs and those projects, they 20 plus years old, but they still hold weight right now on the tour spaces. They're still being spent at clubs every weekend. I'm spinning Biggie. I'm spinning Wu-Tang to this day in front of a new generation. They're classic records.
Mm-hmm.
So those songs and those albums have stood the test of time.
No, that's a fact. But then also you got to kind of look at it like this. Oh, my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's another way you could look at that from a different angle, right? Like let's say you an artist. I tell certain artists like, yo, you want to put out a project, record and put that project out within the same 6-week period, because music pops out. You could pop a new album out every whatever. But if you do that, you basically capture a moment in your life. So what you thinking right now, what you feeling, what you're going through right now, you could capture that. And that's a marketing, you can market from that angle. Yeah, I was going through a breakup. I recorded the whole album in 4 weeks and I put it out. You could also record over the course of 2 years. It's just a matter of how you're approaching it. So the way the music is now is limitless in terms of the approach. You know what I'm saying? As long as the audience is there, that they care about what you're thinking in spring of 2022, they're gonna buy it. They're gonna gravitate to it. If they don't care, they just don't care. And that's where you get them little microwavable songs sometimes, but it works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say for me too, as an artist, I just can't force it. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta receive downloads. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, I don't even write these rhymes. They just come through me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll listen back and be like, damn, I said that shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even know I knew that. I said some shit in my rhyme. I didn't even know I knew.
That's because you crafting rhymes.
Right.
Some people not crafting rhymes. They just kind of just vibing.
Whatever. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, even with the beats, like Sincere just said, like some days I'll get a idea, a melody in my head, or I'll hear something, and then I'll come in and lay it. If I don't hear nothing, I'm not touching the machine.
Right.
I'm not forcing it. You know what I mean? If an idea come, if I hear a hook, I might hear a drum pattern, or whatever. When it comes, it's time for me to lay it out.
I did a project with my son, and that's how we approached it, because at the time he was 11. So he was, a young guy.
I should speak on that, yeah.
Yeah, so we did a little project called Focus. It's streaming everywhere. And what we did was, my son always was into music, right? Because I'm into music, so he just following suit. And his voice was changing, like he was getting older. So I'm like, damn, I need to capture him right now. Like we did a song when he was like 5, and I'm upset that I didn't record more music with him. But I needed to capture him right now while his voice sounded like that, and while he had this space, he could sing. He's on the he's on the chorus at school and all of that. The teachers is always having him do solos. I'm like, nah, let me capture this moment right now. So we just went in. I think it might have took us. We snatched the beat off of YouTube, paid the license, and we did like 7 of them joints and put it out. And we just captured this moment in time. We took a snapshot of him right now. When he was 11, and we put that out, and that's forever encapsulated in, the universe. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that approach worked, because now he wasn't saying nothing deep. He's 11. You know what I mean? Right. You saying something deep, you need time to, to put together, that level of perfection.
It was dope though, man. His confidence and his swagger was just like, this is what you're supposed to be doing, kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you put together the videos and all that for it too, right?
Yeah, I shot the video.
Dope.
Not good looking.
So now, where'd you get those skills from? Where'd that come into play at?
I have no idea.
Just did it.
It's just technical. I'm technical. I'm visual, so I can see like, oh, now this angle right here is gonna kill it. You know what I mean? Like, like when the last video shoot I was at, dude was doing this with the camera. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I need that effect right there. Oh yeah, I see what's going on. Like I could pick up real quick.
You got like special effects and all that stuff going on. I remember the video, like, you know what I'm saying? It was real dope. Like,
it was slick.
Yeah, it was fire.
It was slick. But I just shot it. I sent it somewhere. I had somebody like edit it or mix it, basically. Yeah. So I just
Halloween joint and all that. Yeah,
it was dope.
So the plan was to do a song for every holiday. So he did the Halloween song, put out the video. So that song's supposed to go up, go crazy every Halloween. You know what I mean? He did a Christmas song. I don't know if anybody heard. I didn't really promote it like that. It was a cover for Let It Snow. He did a Christmas song. He did he was gonna do Valentine's Day, but then he's kind of he's 11, so he kind of fell back a little bit. Oh, I want to play outside today, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
Let me let him do what he's doing. Let me, I mean, so so here we are. But he's trying to get back in the lab. He's hovering around somewhere. He's trying to get back in the lab. He wrote his own music, so he's trying to figure it out. He's somewhere around here.
Oh, so he writes too. Good.
Yeah, he started writing. So and I was pretty impressed. The last song, we just recorded. I was pretty impressed. But
how old is he now?
14, bro.
Oh, wow.
14. Wow. Time flies, right?
Yes, sir.
Dang, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we first did our thing. He was 5 years old, 4 going on 5. Shot the video and all that. He came in, I got this chorus. It's called J's on My Feet. Meanwhile, there's a song out called J's on My Feet. So I'm like, all right, you got a verse? So I'm like, he's dragging me through the process. I'm like, you got a beat? I think I got a beat. Let me hit. So I'm like, all right, yeah, that works. You got a verse? What you got? What you got? So then he come up with a verse, like, all right, let's record it. You know what I mean? So I couldn't front on him too hard.
That's what's up. Yeah, shout out to the young God.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. But
is he still doing music in school too, like the chorus and everything like that?
We actually got to go on Saturday. He's doing like a chorus somewhere. He's somewhere in the county. He's doing like the chorus thing. He got picked for All County. This is his second time being picked for All County. Yeah, he's pretty tight. He's pretty tight with it. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
You just need to get him a solo out there. You know what I mean?
Dope.
All right, so let's talk about oncode clothing. Y'all see I got on my oncode gear right now.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I got the Own and Control joint. going on.
Yes. That's a fire get up right there, brother.
Yes.
I need one of those right there. I gotta get one of those.
Yeah, I gotta get you. RP, send me your size. I get it
Yes,
to you.
sir.
ASAP,
that's fire.
Matter of fact, I forgot to mention this earlier too about when we first linked up. I don't know how it came up, but you know, I guess it was something in the lyrics or something. And he was like, "Yo, you listen to Tariq Nasheed?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You like, you know that's my commercial that be playing on the joint, right? And so for everybody out there that listen to Tariq Radio, you know, our brother Tariq Nasheed, that legendary mix commercial that you hear, that's our brother right here. That's
exactly.
And the on-code ads on there too. The on-code.
Yeah, I be running that on-code joint.
Them joints been running for years. Been running them joints for years on the Tariq show. So that's our brother right here that y'all be hearing. So make sure y'all support him.
Support it.
Go get some of that gear. And if you're an artist, definitely tap in on the legendary mix side of things.
Yep. Tap in with the brother.
Oh, nice T girl. I gotta get you a shirt too. Get you a little outfit.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Trying to sound New York now, you know.
No, I'm trying to tap in with the New York vibe.
I'm trying to fit in, you know what I'm saying?
You hanging around Sincere too long, huh?
I'm saying.
All right, so hold on one
I'm
second.
gonna have to get y'all some West Coast swag though. Y'all need some West Coast swag that I got.
Yeah, I was supposed to be out in LA.
West Coast drip.
I was supposed to be out in LA this weekend too, this week actually, but I got turned around so crazy this week. I couldn't even pull it off.
Oh, this weekend?
Yeah, it's this week. I think yesterday I should have flew out, but I got so turned around. I'm all over the place right now.
Them tickets ain't cheap no more.
To do music?
Nah. And RP, I'm still waiting for that kid.
Oh yeah.
I'm still waiting for. I mean, you know, I'm keeping the door open for you, so you know what I mean.
All right. Yeah, I gotta get in there with you, man. With
That's a fact.
Get them joints, man.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So yeah, this
y'all talking in code and shit.
Nah.
Y'all talking in code. What y'all talking about?
A little bit. Yo, what's up with this website? This website look fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, the graphic.
Talk about the on-code clothing line a little bit, man.
Yeah,
you touched on it earlier.
Yeah, it was just a concept that was just, you know how when you writing lyrics, like you were saying, like you're not even writing the lyrics. Lyrics is writing itself. That's what was happening here. So it's like I went on the Shopify and they like, oh yo, do a 14-day free trial. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like kicking it around because I'm looking to kind of familiarize myself with it, because I do also consult with my clients on marketing and just different approaches to getting the music out there. And one was do merchandise. So I'm on here looking, you know, just trying to kick it around a little bit. And the ideas just started flowing, and it just, everything was just making sense. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Putting it together, piecing it together. Originally, it was like I was gonna have different sayings from different speeches from certain master teachers like Francis Cress Wilson, and
that's
you know what I'm saying.
Like that.
And I would throw the quotes on the shirts, and then design started coming up, and, you know, popping up into my head, and I started, you know, figuring out ways to get it down, and so it kind of gave birth to On-Code Clothing, like fleshed it out real nice.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so it's a whole Shopify setup, and
yes, indeed. And you know, it's dope that you're giving away the game too, because a lot of people be trying to keep
the game for themselves, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? They be trying to keep that under the tuck. Like, nah, you know, I got my website, you know what I mean? I had to get me a developer and all that. Nigga, you You pick the template that you like, then you uploaded your pictures. Nigga, stop playing.
You feel me?
Facts.
You know, there was some finessing going. I had to finesse it a little bit. Just design. I had to figure out how to get it done. But this collection right here, if you scroll back up, The alumni collection is supposed to be the BCU instead of HBCU. It's just the Black College University collection, where it's like it's just mock universities, you know, based on, you know, iconic Black figures.
Ali Tech, okay, Muhammad Ali Tech.
You feel me? So it's like,
oh yeah, I got one too. I got this. I got the Dessalines joint. Yeah,
right.
Jean-Jacques Dessalines Military Academy. Dope.
The military. So just playing around with little ideas. I got so many ideas that I want to do for the summer collection, but it's a lot. You got to be on top of it though. Like you really gotta continue like rotating and you know, just doing a bunch of stuff.
This collection is hard.
Yeah.
Garvey State University.
That's
State.
Fire.
And people be asking me like, where the hell is Garvey State? I'm like, nah,
it's in your mind. It's in your mind.
It's in your mind. It depends. It all matters. It depends on what school of knowledge you coming from. You know what I'm saying? Some people came into consciousness through, you know, following, you know, Cress Wilson. Some people came through consciousness following God. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of who you came through. You show homage, you pay homage, you show respect.
Got stuff for the queens, for the ladies.
Yeah, got a few ladies items.
You know what I mean? Some gym gear and all that.
Yes.
Could be on code while you get your workout on.
Get your workout smooth on.
Got the Harriet Tubman University tees.
Let me tell y'all. When I first went on the website, the first thing you saw is the university stuff. So I clicked on that. And I know it says Garvey University, but something kept saying, is it Grambling University? You would spell it wrong. Like it took a little bit more to, and I started looking at the other stuff and I was like, oh, I get it now. I was like, Grambling, but it says Garvey. Like I had a blonde moment.
But yeah, family. The links are in the chat for oncodeclothing.com. Also, make sure that you follow Oncode Clothing on Instagram. It's Oncode Clothing on Instagram, right? No underscores on that.
It's Oncode _clothing with my phone.
_clothing. There you go.
Good.
There you
go. For some reason, I like that underscore. I don't know why.
But yeah, so there you go, man. And let me stop sharing that real quick.
Fire.
And pull up the other site.
Fire. Die time. Ooh. Go ahead, Jackson Harlem.
Jackson talking about
streaming die time. Nice.
Somebody said add to Tariq University. That's how you came into consciousness. Hidden colors. No, I'm talking about Crown 808 in the chat. Said add to Tariq University.
That might be fire. I might have to hit y'all up. We might have to just do like a Zoom call and brainstorm, because I'll be having so many weird, crazy schemes of how to, you know, finesse it. You know, we gotta do something. I gotta brainstorm with like-minded folks.
And by the way, family, you know what I'm saying? If y'all gonna purchase your Oncode clothing, go to the link in my bio. I just remember that.
Oh yeah, you got a promo link, right?
Yeah, I'm an affiliate with the company as well. Sir. So you know, make sure y'all follow me. I'm at SincereluvdaGod on all social media platforms. But click the link in my Instagram bio and get your Oncode clothing. That's what you do.
Yes, sir.
Yo, we need to do something with Oncode for the next rollout of the Master Elements project.
Right. So
I think that would be fire.
Yeah, that's the merch company right there. That's what we need.
Yep. Represent the Oncode brand.
Yep, I'm with that.
I remember when Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Remember when they did the Call Kanai?
Yes. Yep. So this is the legendary mix site, family.
Yep.
For all the artists out there, go to legendarymix.com and get you a quote, whatever you're trying to do, and you can upload everything through here, right?
Yeah. There's links when you know to upload it. It'll send you to the WeTransfer. The legendary mix, we transfer. You can upload it through there.
Mixing, mastering, mix master combo. Okay, it shows you the prices right there and everything. Boom. Analog routing. Now, what's analog routing?
Also, most of the music we doing, we running it through the computer, so it's it's digital environment. It's all good, but some people like that analog sound, so we route the music out of the computer into some of this hardware over here, and we get that little extra that little grit on it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what we're gonna have to do this time.
That next album's gonna have to have that little grit on it.
I told Sincere already, Portiay. I want that basement sound. I want that Wu-Tang sound, that dirty sound. I want to go back to the basement.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I want that analog, but I want it to sound dirty.
Nice. Now we could do that.
I'll let y'all handle all that, man. I'll let y'all handle all that. y'all got my complete trust. He'll
take whatever we give him. He'll take whatever we give him.
At this point, man, y'all got my trust, man. I don't gotta look over y'all shoulder and make sure it is that. Me and RP, we have our little battles about certain shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, nigga, you gotta start with the hook first. He like, nah, son, I'm telling you, the hook, nah.
Let it go. Like Dreams.
Yeah.
We fought on Dreams. Oh my God. I was like, man, no hook in the beginning. Just Rob.
Let me tell you my secret, right? I don't want no smoke with the producers because I know the minute you go down that road, you could be editing and fixing and refixing that song for the next 6 months if you start messing with that producer's sound, brother. So I don't be wanting no smoke. Sometimes RP be saying something, be like, nah, RP has completely lost his mind right now. I already know that ain't gonna work, but I do it anyway. But nah, sometimes but most times we be on point, we on the same page. But
what about the song Oxygen? You remember mixing that one?
I remember the song, but what was the drama?
We had
1,000 instruments on that shit.
We had so many. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do another mix on that record.
You see?
And I'm gonna pull. We're gonna pull all the other sounds up and pull all the original sounds down. That record, it was brutal because we kind of had issues with the drums also. But once we locked in, man, it was amazing.
Right. So you trying to redo that song? You see what I'm saying?
I want, cause you know what, you remember like this, a lot of songs like even back in the 90s, they always had a remix. They always flipped the beat and they did a whole remix of the record. That's something too, gave it a whole new life, gave it new flavor. You heard stuff that you didn't hear in the original version.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of these artists, they don't do that. They don't have that skill where they just, play with sounds and really, paint the pictures, man, with it.
Yeah, it's just a different world altogether. It's a different universe.
Yeah.
Different universe. And it's not even bad. It's just its own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Like you said, you be playing that record for 2 weeks and it's done. They know that. They're not gonna take 2 weeks to work on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to get this out so they can play it. I need that 2 weeks. I need all my 2 weeks.
Right. Just throw it out. Yeah. Throw it out. Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. I come from the era where you try to craft a classic.
Right.
You put that work in, you make sure all the elements are right. You know what I'm saying?
Because as we see, the value of your catalog is being displayed on Versus.
Right.
Most of these artists that really put that work in, when they go to that Versus platform, it's all about how good those songs are and the catalog.
Right.
That they have. When we look at the Raekwon Ghost, when we look at Ja Rule's catalog, all these different artists that really put that work in is paying off now.
Yep, that's a fact.
Their careers were dead, but now with that catalog, they can go back out and tour.
Classics.
Yeah, man.
Those the classics, brother.
People finally starting to get smart too now.
Here, there's going to be a Onyx. I'm sorry. I was saying to next month here, there's the Onyx and Cypress Hill tour, and it's like
really
advertised everywhere, all on the freeway.
I think they doing verses.
All on social media.
Ooh.
I think they doing verses.
Performing live here in England.
Wow.
That should be fire.
Next month.
That's gonna be fire.
Yeah, for sure.
Classics, man.
They got the Daz and Wu-Tang tour about to kick off.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. That tour. I gotta be there.
And I just seen that Ashanti just got her masters and she's re-recording all of her vocals
for the first album.
For the I think for the first album. For the first album, she re-recording all the vocals and she's gonna re-release it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is very smart.
Very smart. Because now she could use that auto tune and she could use them pitch correction, Melodyne, and you know what I mean? Plus the ownership shifts different because it's your master now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Herb Gotti is pissed off.
Is he?
Word?
Yeah, they say he's flipping.
He's very
Oh, you gotta send me a link. You gotta send me a link for that. I gotta see what.
Yeah, he flipping, about. Man. He flipping. He says she's not loyal.
You're not loyal because you want to own your music.
I mean, he's saying that he put all that money into her and all this and that.
You made a lot of money too.
Yeah, he did.
Oh no, I got
20 years ago.
Exactly. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, there's some
they
kind
don't
of
want to
time.
free slaves.
Yeah, the contracts. I think they all have some kind of horizon like that, where there's a time frame where it
reverts back to you.
Yeah, you revert back. You get the masters. You can request all kind of stuff. You can re-record your stuff, and there's so much about the business aspect that you just don't know it because no one's telling you.
Ain't nobody reading their contracts, man.
Now, back when I was first making beats, I went to not even me, but my homeboy went to do his publishing, and somebody at the publisher told him he needs to sign with a publishing company in order to get his publishing stuff processed, which was a complete lie. But this is back in like the 90s. They never told him that he could create his own publishing company and publish his own work. So the whole finesse with publishing was just to finesse black artists. That's the whole bag with that was just how can we get black artists up off of this catalog.
Now, when you were doing the industry thing, did you have any nightmares? Any horror stories?
Like people using music without, you know what I mean? They get your beat tape, they just recording, putting out mixtapes and stuff like that. But it messes you up, it jams you up because you got other people who's ready to use it. But now the mixtape comes out like, yo, you let so and so use. So now it's like they just killed some bread for you. You know what I mean?
So that's just nigga shit.
That's just nigga shit. You know what I mean? Niggas stealing your sample. Niggas stealing your sample and hooking it up how they want to hook it up and playing it for them. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. I know I just played him this record 2 weeks ago. Like, how you got a placement on this joint already? You know what I mean?
Did you work with Ski?
I never worked with Ski. Nah.
You never worked with Ski?
Nah, I never worked with Ski.
Because I know he did most of that
first album,
Mojo, right?
Yeah, he did most of that. He did all of the first Camp Lo album. I think that one or two of them Jocko did. But by the second album, which is when I started, getting my ball rolling. They wasn't using Ski on that second project.
So
what happened with that? What happened with that?
I don't know. They got this back and forth thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just whatever. I think most groups do that. They be having this back and forth thing constantly in play. You know what I mean? It always has something to do with business. Somebody not watching their back. Somebody doing something extra. But you never know who's doing what because everybody got their own story. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for those of y'all that's watching now or checking us out on the replay, that's just as lost as my co-host about what we talking about right now. Let me just tell y'all, Camp Low. Camp Low was a dope group out of the BX in the mid '90s. They had a hit record called Lucchini. Lucchini.
This
was
is
the name
it.
of the song,
What?
right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, This Is It was the name of the record. What was the title?
Yeah.
Lucchini.
This is it / Lucchini.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Ski was the main producer on their project, and he ended up working with Jay-Z on his debut, Reasonable Doubt. And a lot of those beats they said was supposed to be for Camp Low, and Jay-Z kind of finessed his way into.
He finessed that feeling it because I have the original.
The feeling it was supposed to be their joint, right?
Yeah, I remember that feeling joint.
Yeah. And he took, and I'm gonna keep it a G.
He was even rapping.
He stole that flow. Yeah, he stole their flow, man. He did.
Yeah, he was even rapping like that. And them dudes was nice. They had their own little flavor. But yeah, that's just a little tidbit, little hip hop history right there, man. You know,
he stole that Camp Low.
But what's next, Portiay? What's next for you for Legendary Mix? Any upcoming projects or any you know?
I got a few ideas. The engineering keeps me flexible as far as time, so I could, you know, sit around and think a little bit, craft a little something. My next venture, I'm not sure yet. I do have a few things jotted down, a few directions I want to go in, but I guess that'll be another show once it's launched, everything is, you know what I mean, in motion.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I want to do personal stuff, you know, build wealth, you know, everybody want to do that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just from that angle, make sure the kids is good, make sure the family's good, you know. But as far as like business ventures, we'll see. I don't even know what I'm gonna do yet.
No doubt. You got a lot going on right now, you know, to juggle anyway. With the store, with the clothing, with the music, family. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, that's what's up right there, man. But yo, I think you might be able to shoot our next video though, man. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like,
man.
I'm like, yo, Portiay did that video for his son. I think you can shoot something for us, man.
Portiay, I want to do a video
right there.
Yeah, I want to do a video for the Purple Tape right.
Yeah, man. I'm coming back up there soon. I don't know exactly when, but my little brother about to have a new baby soon, and so whenever baby come, I'm gonna come up there, and yeah, we got to do something, man. We got to do something visual, man. People need to see pictures, man.
Yeah, we have.
Me out.
Yeah,
but you know what though? You know what? It's funny. You want to be on the album for the new album? Yeah. Let's put her in.
Just give me some.
Let's put her in. I got an idea, actually. I got a dope idea too.
Oh, PJ, let's put her in.
Let's put her in, yo.
You can see the.
I got a dope idea. I got a dope idea too.
All three wheels is
I don't want to be a backup dancer.
No. I got an idea. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we have no visuals from the Spear and the Shield album. We didn't do not one visual.
Like
we didn't do anything.
You could pull off the whole Nipsey thing. You know, you peep how Nipsey, he dropped the album. He's dropping videos well into the next year, bro.
Yeah, it don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter.
It don't even matter. It's music and stuff. It's classic. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I'm still down to do stuff for that project. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll build on that offline, man. But so yeah, man, just a couple more questions for you, man, before we let you get out of here. We got to do this thing in Godcast fashion. But family that's watching, make sure that y'all hitting that like button and you know, sharing this out. If you're watching us on another platform, head on over to the YouTube channel, click that subscribe button and the notification bell. Remember, this is the Black Business Showcase. We here every Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And check us out on our Sunday show, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, where we talk about current events and important issues. pertaining to the Black community. But this is the Black Business Showcase, man, and we always end it with a couple of questions for our guests, man, just to see where your mind is at as far as certain things. So go ahead, Nicety, it's on you.
Goes back to the code. Mr. Portiay, what does freedom and power do?
What does freedom and power mean to me?
Yes, sir.
Freedom and power means to me owning and controlling. You know what I'm saying? In a nutshell, you call the shots because you own and you control, you know? So that's freedom, that's power.
That's freedom and power right there, baby. Yes, indeed. RP, we got you up here too, man. What does freedom and power mean to you, brother?
Oh man, subjective. Basically the ability, as you just said, to control my time and map out my destiny uninterrupted.
There you go. There you go. And so, Portiay, I got to put you on the Summer Jam screen. And so now you got the microphone. The entire Black community can hear what it is that you have to say. What parting words would you like to leave us with tonight?
I want to leave the family with the peace and blessings. I want to leave the family with the understanding that owning and controlling is everything. Check me out, PortiayLegendaryMix.com, oncodeclothing.com. I appreciate the family for having me on the GodCast. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Definitely. And good night.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Peace.
You ain't off the hook, RP, man.
I'll slide out the back door.
You ain't off the hook, brother.
Not yet.
Oh man.
Parting words for the family.
Oh man. Stay inspired. Maintain your focus and don't let anyone break your spirit.
Now I'm gonna flip it for you. That was good though. I appreciate that. That was good. But I'm gonna flip it for you because, you know, now for you, the whole hip hop community is listening. You know what I mean? So what do you want to say to the hip hop community, brother?
Right now, in this time, I would say to our community of artists and producers that they need to utilize their platforms and their energy in a way that would allow us to be educated, to be liberated, and to be uplifted through sound. Use our talents to reestablish ourselves and our communities and our children in a positive way. It's time to reset.
Yes, sir. Yes,
time
sir.
for the great reset.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. So yeah, got anything, Nicety?
Yeah, make sure you guys support Oncode Clothing. If you got any projects, make sure that you shoot them over to our brother, Legendary Mix_online. And I want to thank the family again for tapping in with us tonight. And we will see you guys on Sunday because we have a whole lot of tea to talk about.
Yes, indeed.
Appreciate you.
And so remember, family.
It's a lot.
Remember. We are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Appreciate y'all tapping in. We'll see y'all on Sunday. Peace and Black love.
Peace.
Grace and peace, Black family. This is Vicky Dillard, your sister with the curly braids. And I want you to get ready for the new Master Elements project, The Spear and the Shield.
This vaccine isn't experimental. It's like a dandelion. You overlook it for their weird science.
DJ RP Beats and SincereluvdaGod have taken this time during the pandemic to carefully craft the soundtrack to Black empowerment with hot tracks like God Mind, featuring Sadat X of the legendary group Brand Nubians.
We never die. I made an ancestral shrine. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen, I'm I'm a law in the person of SincereluvdaGod. That mean your arms too short like Tall Anthony Shaw.
God painted me black.
God painted me black, thanks for that. I'm a original man.
A letter to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
Ashe to the ancestors. Dear Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, I just wanted to thank you for all the lessons you left us. So yes, I'm more than grateful.
And the controversial song Buck Breaking God today.
Why every black show they gotta have a transgender? Either I'm crazy or this gotta be a planned agenda.
Get ready, black family. This is a much needed project. This is the Spear and the Shield.